Hi there, this is Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and today's question comes to us from Marie, who is a business analyst manager and often has people in her organization approach her for help getting started in business analysis. She wanted to know how to find that right task or the first assignment that will help increase their confidence and expand their capabilities. So first, I wanted to just share my first experience as a business analyst because I feel really fortunate that I worked with a senior BA, and I believe that the way things unfolded for me really provides a good model for many to follow. So as you know, I was in QA before I was a business analyst, or many of you know, I talk about that often. I had experience with testing, test planning, reviewing requirements, and the flow of software projects. I'd never actually written a requirements document before, and I started by shadowing a BA in her meetings. I got to take meeting notes and update her deliverables and draft deliverables, and gradually I was just taking on more and more responsibility to help her. And then a new project opened up, and I was assigned to work on that project. Now I went from shadowing her to huge big project. It was actually one of the bigger projects our organization had ever undertook. And I also had her guidance at first, and so that provided a lot of confidence and stability for me. So how can you take this experience and create a model for how you assign your new tasks to business analysis? First, I think you want to start with a skills assessment, and I shared my approach to that in another video, so we'll link to that here about how to go through what their transferable skills are and what they actually bring to the profession. Then you want to choose a task that's going to help increase their confidence. So it's either going to be formalizing something they've done before, but not in the formal way, or something that they had a big gap in, like maybe they've never done a data model or they've never done anything like a business process. So for a business subject matter expert, you might ask them to meet with a few stakeholders and analyze a business process in their area. Give them a structure, a goal of what that process would be, perhaps even a few questions to ask so they know what they're looking for. For a QA engineer, you might ask them to document an area of system functionality in a use case. So to take that knowledge they have of the system and how to write test cases for the system and get more prescriptive into the view of how the system actually should work. Ideally, they'd start for a current state system view, and then the next step would be to evolve that into do some discovery work and evolve that into updating the functionality in a to-be use case as well. So you're getting that full range of business analysis experience. So that's starting with the technique, right? I think we have to give them a whole project. I think starting with the individual techniques, this is what we do in the Business Analyst Blueprint. It's really, really a great way to get that confidence started without having to tackle the entire project all at once. So once you do this, you want to create experiences that for them though to cultivate more independence, right? So I've done this technique and this technique and this technique. Could I put that together on a project? Or could I start it from scratch or identify the process from start to end, find the stakeholders myself that I need to work with? Kind of all these ways to take that first level experience and expand it to new experiences. And so, you also might start to bring them into the projects that you're working on. So maybe at first they're doing the specific use case business process or data modeling work on a project that you've led and scoped and planned out, and then bring them in to the beginning and say, okay, now I'm starting a new project and I don't know what information I need. I don't know what the business objectives are. We don't have the scope defined yet. Let me walk you through how I approach that and have them shadow you through some of those tasks and then take on the more detailed analysis as well. And then eventually, of course, you want to prepare them to start a new project all on their own. And it might start with a small one and then gradually get to more stakeholders, more complexity, until they're running full-fledged projects like you're doing as a business analyst today. And so I think, just starting with the independent tasks first and then merging that into full projects, and then thinking about how they would shadow you on some of those projects and then take some of those projects independently on their own. It's a good way to think about graduating tasks. And of course, once you go through a skills assessment with somebody, you might discover like they've actually done a lot of things before. If somebody's coming from a background of, say, a project manager or a technical development lead manager, which is a really common path into business analysis, they might actually have more experience with that business objectives, scope definition phase, and they might need more help with the detailed requirements phase of how do I actually put together the business processes and all of that. So you might, kind of shadow them to get the project started and then provide more guidance and support as they do those detailed business analysis deliverables. So always be looking for what that person knows and brings to the table already, leveraging that strength, giving them the next thing that's really going to help them expand their skills and experience. Another thing to be looking for beyond that in terms of building a career path is like, once I've done all that with like a set of stakeholders or a specific system or a specific area of the business, how can I tackle a new challenge, right? So a new set of stakeholders, a new area of the business, an unfamiliar domain. That's when your business analysis skills really start to get put to the test. And that's where you start to see how generalized these core skills that we have are and how applicable they are in different environments. Because it can get kind of tunnel vision when you're first getting started in a specific environment. And it's when you start to apply that across multiple environments that you really, you take your skills to the next level. And so be looking for those opportunities for people on your team as well as they get comfortable in their business analyst roles. So I hope you find this helpful, whether you are helping a business analyst or transitioning yourself. It's a way to think about how to get to where you want to be. And I'd love to hear from you. Like, what was your first business analyst task? How did that come to be? Share in the comments below, and I'd love to hear from you. Again, I'm Laura Brandenburg from Bridging the Gap, and we help business analysts start their careers.